Thursday, January 25th at 5:30 at City Hall. We have a quorum, so we are moving forward with the meeting. First order of business is the approval of minutes from the December 7th, 2023 meeting.
I'll offer a motion to approve those.
Meeting and motion and a second. Any discussion on those minutes? If not, please indicate your approval.
Aye.
Any dissenters? Approved. Under old business, I've got a little bit of a change. In looking back at the information we've got, it looks like there's also a section 22 in our agenda packet.
Yes.
So if there's no objection to that, I guess we'll include that as old business. So the first item under discussion is probably that section 22, boards, commissions, and departments. And I don't know, Chris, do you want to give us a little better background?
Yeah, thank you, Commission President, Commissioners. So Section 22 was brought up in the discussion primarily for the boards and commissions that were part of that. And looking into that, I have no objection to the four commissions that are in there. So that'd be the Board of Health, Public Utilities Commission, Human Rights Commission, and the Police Commission. I think having those four commissions in there are fine. In talking with our city attorney, he's going to do a little more digging on the Board of Health. He's saying a lot of cities are foregoing the boards of health if the county is taking that over. So we'll do a little digging on that for the next meeting. But if we're okay having those four are fine. And then a little bit farther down, last year we had looked at departments that the city should have. And the only thing that I'm requesting is removal of the fire and police department, because later in the charter, both of those are called out as departments for the city and calls out how they're governed through the charter. So just a little language cleanup.
Okay. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
So we're not eliminating the health department at this point.
No, we will do a little more research and bring that
Okay.
back.
Do you think we should table that item until you find out more information on it rather
Yeah.
than acting at this point?
Yeah, and so kind of what we want to do, and this was a discussion, that I had. I think, this is more discussion purposes, so we can bring everything that we approve with any changes to council at one time instead of item by item. So again, so we can make the decision, yes, we're okay with this language, we'll kind of set it aside and then bring it back with all the language changes and everything, so you can approve it once and then go to council.
Okay.
Moving forward.
All right. Any more discussion on that item? If not, the next item is section 31, and I think that one was already discussed.
Yep.
It was regarding term limits, and now that request has been withdrawn, so we'll move on from there. Section 75 is city manager, powers and duties.
Okay, and with this, again, we were mirroring the departments that the city was required to have. And so we're looking at council approving the city engineer. They have to by state statute, finance director and the human resource director. We were looking at fire and police chief as well. But in the charter, it states that city manager appoints the police chief with the police commission's approval. And then the fire chief, it spells out already that is council approved under fire chief.
Okay, any further discussion on that item? All right, we will move on to new business. How do you want to handle these? Do you want to just give us an introduction on them this evening, and then we'll bring those back next meeting, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, we did talk about them at last.
Each one of these we talked about at the last meeting, so I was able to talk with our city attorney to get clarification on, whether or not he feels we need to make changes to them, and we can still have the open discussion on if you want to make changes or leave as is.
Okay.
So we can kind of
All
go
right.
one by one.
Let's go to section 20 then, tie any election, how to handle an election.
Okay, so with this one, it was more clarification. It's worded, let's go correctly, but it reads like a run-on sentence, kind of that old English legalese. And so we can, talking with the city attorney, he's fine with cleaning it up, maybe making it 2 sentences, again, while commas make it
Well, the drawing lots or casting of lots, I think was kind of like, what? did
flipping
they
a
do?
coin.
What is that? Yeah, flip a coin.
Basically flipping a coin.
Fine, if
yeah.
that's what it is, put it in there.
So we can clarify what drawing lots is. He felt drawing lots appears to be broad enough. You can determine what that is. Drawing straws or whatever that may be. But him and we can go through and clarify what drawing of lots is and make it less legally and more plain English. That's fine.
Okay, anybody have any other thoughts on that one? Okay, section 23, appointed offices.
I think that one we can pull because we dealt with that last time.
Yep.
I
And,
wasn't
and
really sure since we had a new civil attorney and we had a new city attorney.
Yep.
That was my question, but you clarified that Robert Scott is the official
Yep.
city attorney.
Yep,
So
and-
that clarifies my question.
and he was in agreement with that
Okay.
that assessment. Yep.
Okay, the next one, section 23, vacancies, how created.
All right. So with this one, instead of so the issue was, do we include, domestic violence, sex crimes to fall under, and specifically call those out? And the city attorney has made a recommendation to kind of remove a lot of that language to just fall back onto Minnesota State Statute 351.02, and the language would be essentially removal by operation of law pursuant to state statute, which would cover all of that. We can get that draft language out to you and show you what that statute says. But it pretty much covers how that works, and again, it trumps anything we do anyway.
Les, does that sound like
Sounds
the
good to me.
direction we went ahead?
Yep.
Okay, anybody else have anything on that one? Moving along, section 57, recall limitations.
Okay, and the question here was just clarification on why the first 6 months is limited, and the only thing he and I could come up with, and we both came to the same conclusion, was that if someone loses, they can't just start the recall process automatically. They have to wait that 6-month period before that recall can happen. So it's not a, hey, I lost and I want you out of office already.
Have a chance to screw up before you.
Essentially. Yep.
So Mr. Scott assumed that was fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That was just my question on that.
Anybody else have any other thoughts on that one? Sounds like we're just going to accept that one as it is.
Yep.
Okay. Section 101, library board.
All right. This one was just clarification to make sure we're following what's in there. Talking with the library director, we follow everything that's currently in this in the charter, and I do like that having the flexibility that if for whatever reason we can't find someone to serve on the library board, a city councilor could potentially be a member at that point. But talking with the
Section 102, we don't follow, though. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody bringing to us vacancies on the library board shall be reported to the city council.
Yeah,
never-
the mayor.
never
Mayor
happened.
still appoints those in her appointments when those go through. Mayor appoints them to that.
Was this not formal, but I guess it is.
I mean, and again, we
Vacancies
can
on the library board shall be reported to the city council.
fill by like
Could
appointment.
we add by the mayor?
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd probably,
Let me.
the mayor be okay with that?
Well, it states, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, we can.
Yeah, it wasn't a
we can
big
do
deal. I was just like, we don't do that. I've never heard of an opening at the library, but
that. All right, we can change that.
In section 101, it
Yeah.
specifically says that the
Mayor
board is
appoints.
going to be 9 members. Is that Is that true of any other boards where we specifically say how many members the board's going to have?
Police commission. So all the other ones are called out in the charter for how big, or in the city code. And so the mayor is currently looking at boards. And then if there is a change to make them more consistent, this would be an item that potentially would come back to mirror any other board and commission that we have.
But would the charter have to approve that?
Yes, the charter. So specifically for the library board, yes, because it's in the charter called out. But all the others are in the city
So are you
code.
looking at a number yet, Mayor?
Not at this point.
I mean, could we help you by saying 6 to 9 or something like that, or wouldn't we want to do that? We need to revise it another year when we meet again.
I don't have something new that we're looking at, all 17 commissions and boards, so I'm just pulling one out right now. It would be difficult.
Are there 9 on the board now?
Yes, it is. It is full.
That is a
then-
lot of board members.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of boards, a lot of turnover.
And rec, I think, is 9 as well.
There was a lot of talk about our boards that have 7 to reduce to 5,
Yeah,
to make them more manageable.
Human rights is also 9.
yeah. So,
Then you got to make sure everybody shows up.
Yeah.
So,
Any other discussion on section 101, library board? If not, section 102, vacancies and compensation, we already had a comment on that. Anything else on that one?
Nope.
perfect.
Let me look.
Okay. Anybody else come up with any other things that we should be considering at our next meeting? Doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
Okay. We're-
We had to wait 29 minutes to have a 10-minute meeting.
You know,
I've been waiting 29 minutes to have it 29 minutes.
That's true.
and then looking at it, if there is stuff between now, and the next meeting that you want us to look at, feel free to email
Next meeting
myself.
could be a final one.
It could be, yes.
Could or should be,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, it probably should be. I don't see there's nothing controversial here, so.
Else comes up.
Okay. Next meeting, do you want to just schedule that again by sending us?
Yeah, we'll send a doodle poll again.
Okay.
Yeah, probably February month should be more than enough sometime in February.
Anything else? If not, we're adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it.